All right, so we keep pushing forward. This first part right here isn't too tricky. Just a couple dudes across the way, but we're going to be coming up on a part where there's a bunch of dudes with rocket launchers and a bunch of dudes down below. That can be tough if you get in the wrong position, but it's not too hard if you just stay up top. Let's see. You want to go to some questions, or is there anything else you want to ask that's confusing you about the game so far?
No, I think we've answered a lot of questions, so let's go to some other ones besides mine.
No. If you have some, these...
I don't.
Okay. Let's see. I Win You Fail asked, do you intend to try any other classes in Mass Effect 2? Do you even think you'll go back and play again after making the guide? I will probably go back and play again for fun, but not for a while. To me, this is going to be like reading a good book. I can't read a good book like back to back. You know, just I don't want to read a book 3 times a year, the same book. That's just boring to me. I'll probably go back to this in maybe a year just to see to refresh myself when the next Mass Effect comes out. But playing it back to back twice in a row, or practically 3 times, you get kind of burned out on it. So,
do you remember how much time elapsed between this one and the first one?
In terms of story or in terms of development?
Release dates.
I think about 2 years.
So we'll probably expect the next one in 2 years.
Yeah, I would say so. So right now, just be sure to shoot all those guys up top with rockets first. There are a bunch of guys down below. And sometimes they run up the stairs. Just try not to lure them over to the stairs, though. There's some stairs on the right, and there's some stairs kind of back where we first came into the room on the left. So yeah, I don't know if you saw right there, but the guy's health was regenerating super fast, even as he was flying through the air.
Yeah.
As I was reloading ammo, but fortunately, one of my teammates took him out. Yeah, just keep using that slow-mo as much as possible and just unloading on their face. And if you don't have that incendiary ammo, which, like I've mentioned 5 times, is a huge mistake, don't even bother shooting them unless you know you can kill them without reloading, because you're just going to waste ammo.
Okay.
Because as soon as you stop damaging them, their health starts regenerating very quickly.
So, team selection, how important is that? And how often do you get to choose?
You can choose at almost every major junction in the game. It doesn't really become an issue. I mentioned this in the first video. Miranda, that's her name. I like her the most because she has a good variety of powers, and one of her abilities that you can level up gives extra damage to everybody on your team, and I think it's an extra 10% at the max level. So,
wow, that's pretty.
I always use her, just because that extra damage. I don't know. It just always seems to come in handy. As for the second guy, the second person on your team, after you've recruited a number of guys for your team, you can choose whoever you want, really. It depends on who you like to play with, what powers you like to use of theirs. If there's like one guy that just has a power that you love to use, just stick with that. If you know you're going into a level that has a bunch of robotic enemies, using like the professor or one of the other guys that can hack enemies really well, or Tally, I believe, is the other one that's really good at that. Using one of them is really good too, because their powers will come in handy. Oh, Tally and I think the professor has this power too. They can summon this robot sentry that is unbelievably helpful later on in the game. So maybe I'll have to experiment with using them more, but this robot sentry, basically, it's like those robot dogs. It doesn't look the same, but it just goes right to their toes. It distracts them, and it has a lot of health.
No.
So those guys are pretty helpful later on. So maybe I'll end up using those guys more, or Tally or the Professor.
Now, I remember you said even if you don't choose a certain team member to come with you, they still get the rest still get experience?
Yes, there is no experience benefit. It's not like Final Fantasy where you have to, like, whoever is fighting gets the experience. Everybody levels up equally.
Okay.
So you can not use a guy the entire time, and then if you just want to use one of them just to test him out, like late in the game, he'll still have all the experience points. So you can, level them up however you want.
Okay.